Hello and welcome to Raise and Shine TV. I'm Maya Stewart here today with Lorianne Salazar, and we're going to be talking about handling your children while going on shopping trips. We'll be focusing on three main areas: shopping trip misbehavior, preventing problems while shopping, and managing our shopping trips. We hope you enjoy the show. So we often hear comments from parents about how difficult it is to go shopping with their children, and particularly around the holidays when there's a lot more sparkly, exciting, attention-grabbing entertainment sort of out there. It can be a little bit tricky.
And overwhelming.
And very overwhelming and really quite exhausting. So some of the ways that we find children struggle on shopping trips are when they're tired, if we're just grabbing them right from school, and they might even be a little hungry, and then we're taking them straight to the store where there's all these goodies.
Absolutely.
That can be a real challenge. What other ways, reasons might we find that children are difficult to shop with?
Well, I know for a fact that especially younger kids, preschoolers for example, when we take them to a store, attention spans can be quite short. And so if a child gets bored very quickly and you have to take them on a long shopping trip where you're tediously going through for the holidays, for example, and getting everybody's presents in one go.
Or food.
Exactly.
Looking for everybody's favorites of everything. So the time, being exhausted, being bored, and there's a lot of exciting things placed at children's levels.
Yes.
So there can be a lot of grabbing off of the shelves, and then mom or dad or caregiver, auntie, uncle getting frustrated, taking things and putting it back. That can build a lot of frustration. And
and also another thing might be, if the child feels ignored, if you are off and grabbing the things that you need to as fast as you can, the child might feel like, hey, no one's paying attention to me. Let me try and do something.
And if I misbehave, then somebody will pay attention to me. That's generally how it works. So how would we avoid some of these issues, these frustrations that come up and make our holidays even more exhausting than they can already be?
Well, definitely one thing that we've talked about, and that's a common theme in anything that we tackle, is trying to set up expectations and maintaining a routine that your child can expect.
It's familiar with. Okay. Right. So keeping that regularity, not going shopping right after school if the child's exhausted and accustomed to going home and taking a nap.
Exactly.
Or bringing a snuggly or some food or whatever is going to get them back into that that place where they can interact a little bit more easily. And what about just preparing them for the trip, letting them know we're going to be going to do this, therefore it's not a surprise.
Exactly.
A lot of children have difficulty with transitions or just not being prepared for what's going to happen next.
Right.
So just sort of that heads up can be really helpful. What kind of rules have you heard parents come up with?
Well, definitely a lot of the rules sometimes happen, in the car ride on the way over to the store, right? We have to talk to our kids and say, just remember while we're walking down the aisles, stay somewhere I can see you, stay close to me. That's definitely an important rule.
Yes, I always need to be able to see you. It doesn't matter if you can see me so much as I need to be able to see you. Walking, I think, is a really important one. What else?
And also the touching rule, right? Ask if you can touch something, especially if you're in a store for the holidays where things are breakable.
Yes, definitely breakables. And then perhaps this is also a time when we hear a lot of whining and we get a lot of tantrums. So being prepared for those so that we know what we're looking at and going into. Our stress level's a little bit down. We're better able to handle situations or preemptively strike and notice when some warning signs might be coming up.
Definitely.
What about planning some activities to do while in the store, engaging the child?
Definitely. Going back to that idea of, why are children why do they get upset in stores? Why do they get bored? Planning some activities can definitely, counter those behaviors. Some activities might be something as simple as count how many red something or others you see down this aisle.
How many colors can you find, shapes, passing things to you, putting them in the cart, organizing them, obviously depending on the child's age.
Right.
Looking for prices.
That's always good. Numbers games.
Different colors, shapes, sizes. We talked about that. Just counting. Yeah, those are all some really good things that aren't going to be obnoxious, loud, disruptive to others, and can actually be a really nice opportunity for some quality time with your child.
Definitely.
So we're going to take just a moment and move on to another section. We've talked a little bit about going shopping with our children, especially around the holidays, and specifically about their misbehavior, potential misbehavior on shopping trips, as well as preventing some of the problems that typically come up. In our next segment, we'll be talking a little bit more about managing shopping trips and how to keep our children busy and engaged while we're getting our work done.
Hi, I'm Paula Gasca with Mendocino Organics, and I'm here to talk with you about CSA, or Community Supported Agriculture. CSA, or Community Supported Agriculture, is a mutually beneficial relationship between community members and local farmers. At the beginning of the growing season, community members purchase a share of the season's harvest, and throughout the growing season, farmers then harvest and distribute directly to members their share for the week. CSA farms produce not only fresh vegetables, but also fresh fruits, sustainable meats like pork, chicken, beef, eggs, and even grain. You can find out more about CSA by visiting MendocinoLocalFood.org, and you can find a CSA farm where you can then get awesome carrots and broccoli like these.
Hi, my name is Rachel Schneider and I'm with the Imagination Library. I'd like to tell you about how you can receive free books once a month for your child. You can receive great books like these directly to their mailbox until they're 5 years old. All you have to do is go to your local medical provider, local library, or First 5 Mendocino to fill out a form and send it into our offices. Or, if you'd like, you can go to mendochildren.org and fill out a form online. Please sign your child up so they can start receiving free books directly in the mail.
Welcome back to Raise and Shine TV. I'm Maya and Lorianne is here with me, and we're talking about shopping with our children. In the last segment, we went over some of the reasons that shopping can be an opportunity for misbehavior. We also talked about preventing some of those typical or common problems that come up during shopping trips, including the need to maintain your child's routine, preparing your child for the trip, explaining the rules, and planning some activities to do in the store. I think a lot of the time we sort of forget that we have the ability to create opportunities for good behavior in our children wherever we are.
Definitely.
I know on driving trips, long waits in the dental or doctor's office, I often forgot that I could just bring some toys.
Yeah.
You know, the toys or the books are going to be less of a distraction than my children running amok. So
Absolutely.
I think while that seems sort of obvious in some ways, it's an important thing to remind parents of, that we do have the ability to just do that.
Definitely.
So let's go ahead and go back over some of the activities that we suggested.
Sure.
Some things that you can do while shopping, grocery store, for Christmas gifts, Hanukkah gifts, whatever it is that you're looking for this time of year. You can have your child help you with finding things on the shelves, passing things to you.
Definitely.
Counting, putting groceries in the cart, looking for prices, and looking for different colors, shapes, numbers, sizes of things.
Right.
So those are some of the activities that you can plan ahead to have just sort of in your hat or of tricks. What are some other ways that we can keep our children busy and engaged while we're shopping?
Well, another thing, you know, going back to what you had said, is we often forget that you can bring along a book, you can bring along a toy that they can easily, quietly manage and keep themselves busy. So keeping your child busy is something that is important because, again, if you allow too much of a lull, then that's where the child finds opportunity to get bored, start to whine, and that kind of thing.
And maybe find some activity that's not quite as helpful or
Exactly.
or desirable. So how do we encourage that desirable behavior? I hear a lot of parents saying, well, I keep telling them no, and sometimes it seems like the best leverage point is actually encouraging the good versus trying to stop or diminish the bad, because encouraging the good will naturally
absolutely
diminish that.
And that's positive reinforcement. When you're saying something like, I love the way that we just walked down that aisle with no problems at all. Thank you for that.
So really remembering to acknowledge those opportunities for good behavior, which I think is oftentimes, we just want to be quiet and enjoy the peace. But unfortunately, that's not giving the child the attention that they really do need and want.
And if you're setting up an activity like, let's find all of the, blue shoes in this aisle as we're looking for a present, acknowledging that, hey, you found 5 blue shoes. That's amazing. Let's go on to the next aisle.
Right.
Could really make the difference.
Okay. So, and then what about when misbehavior occurs? I know that my heart always breaks for parents who I see when their child's tantruming or whining and they're getting so frustrated and everybody's stress level is getting higher, and I just want to tell them it's okay. It's bothering you more than it's bothering anyone else.
Definitely.
Nobody thinks you're a bad person because your child's upset. But what do we do in those situations? What do we say to those parents?
I think one thing that I really appreciate is being very direct and explaining a certain behavior is not okay. Saying, would you please stop running right now? It's not safe. Please walk with me. Follow me.
So really indicating what should be done.
Yes.
Because this is a learning experience. If we don't take our children out into these environments, they won't ever really learn how to act appropriately in those social situations.
Definitely.
I think you actually had a really nice way of putting that. I can't remember what it was, but it came together really nicely that basically we need to give them that opportunity.
Yes.
Right?
The answer is not to, when you have a problem with a child in a store, not to leave them at home. That's not necessarily always the answer. The answer could be, well, on the next trip, let's set up those expectations. Let's, face this challenge head on, and let's give our child that opportunity to learn a better way to manage being in a store.
And if you ever have questions or, want some tips about shopping, traveling the car, going to the dentist's office, any of those kind of things, you can always call us at Raise and Shine. The phone number is 707-462-1233, or go ahead and check out our website at www.raiseandshine.org. We've got lots of parenting activities coming up and lots of opportunities to get information and suggestions from your fellow parents about all kinds of topics relating to children ages 0 to 5. So what more do we have to say about shopping other than enjoy it? Remember,
bring your kids along.
Exactly, bring your kids along. Remember that there's always an opportunity for fun and for learning, and just treasure those moments and enjoy this time because it goes by really fast. We're out of time for today, but thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time.